Hey guys, so Dark Harvest is getting reworked, and I'm going to show you the new strategy for Dark Harvest. It's completely different, so let me show you what it says. Instead of collecting souls now from farming, it says damaging a champion below 50% health deals the bonus damage, which is like the old Dark Harvest proc, and takes their soul. So instead of power farming the jungle, that's now the worst possible thing you can do with Dark Harvest. Now you just gotta spam gank, and that's kind of a good thing to force players to do the right thing, because I know like some Korean junglers, they can go a full game with like 20 CS and it works. So part of the problem with the old Dark Harvest was it made it acceptable, or it made it viable for the jungler to just power farm the whole game. Even though I don't think that's the optimal way to use the old Dark Harvest, there was still a lot of people that's pretty much all they did. So the main point of this change was to take that out of the game. They don't want the AFK farming playstyle, so they made it instead a spam ganking playstyle, but the snowball aspect is still there. So it's still a very high risk, high reward, late game focused rune, so it's the strongest late game rune still, but the early game is actually a little bit better. So it has a higher base damage at level 1. It actually does 52 damage with this rune page at level 1, which is pretty big. I mean, all I've been doing with this rune now is level 2 ganking every single game. Instead of going for the level 3 power spike, I just level up Tiger and then Bear Stance and go straight to bot lane every game. You don't even need to get a kill in bot lane. You just need to bring one person below 50% health, and then you get your first stack. And each stack is a big deal. Like by 10 minutes you might only have 5 stacks. That's maybe a good game. So like a perfect game, you might have 10 stacks by 10 minutes. Anyways, I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the gameplay. And one interesting thing about this new Dark Harvest is it procs on any damage, not just basic attacks, but for example, Blue Smite would proc Dark Harvest, so your Smite is now going to do like 300 damage late game. And Tiamat, Titanic Hydra, anything ranged is going to proc Dark Harvest. But this is the rune page I would recommend. Otherwise, aside from this, the only other page I would recommend is Celerity and Water Walking. So the runes are, the stats are not actually connected to the rune pages anymore. So you can choose any combination of runes, and then after that you choose your different stats. So the reason I chose Cheap Shot is for the burst damage. The other options don't really do much for the jungle. Sudden Impact doesn't work on Udyr's Bear Stance, even though a lot of people think it does. For this rune, it's kind of up to you. This is just a ward thing. I don't know about eyeball collection anymore, because the new Dark Harvest, you gotta be aggressive early, and if you don't be aggressive early, you're gonna have a very hard time. So it's really weird, because the new Dark Harvest is trying to be an early game rune and a late game rune. I really don't know. It's kind of hard to make choices on what to do in the game. It's sort of like more of a gamble, because it forces you to play aggressively in order to snowball. You can't just power farm. But yeah, I just take Zombie Ward because I like to go Oracle Alteration and sneak through the enemy jungle, and it's kind of nice to have that, all the wards dropping behind me. Relentless Hunter, though, I think is a must-have, because with this new Dark Harvest, you want to run from lane to lane repeatedly, and this is just really nice for running those long distances. So yeah, the secondary, Celerity and Water Walking, or Triumph and Alacrity. Dark Harvest still has the takedown reset mechanic, so Triumph is a good combination with that. Especially if you're building an HP build like Sterix Gauge or Black Cleaver or Titanic Hydra, and I'll show you a few example builds after we look at the runes. But if you're going a build like that with health, then Triumph is probably pretty good, because it will be a bigger heal every time you get an assist. For the statistics, you can have the fastest clear speed in the jungle if you take a balance of attack speed and damage. So you don't want to have, I mean, it's possible to take all damage, but so that'll give you more burst damage if you want that, but the clear speed will be a little bit slower. So just to be safe, I would recommend taking the attack speed and AD second. And for the defense, for the jungle, armor is pretty good because it helps you stay healthy in the jungle when you're getting attacked by monsters. So the thing about the new Dark Harvest is you need to have AD in the build. You need to have some burst damage because otherwise you're never going to be able to get your stacks. You need to have burst damage to bring somebody to 50% health, and then you get your Dark Harvest proc, which is sort of like an execute now to finish somebody off. So for that reason, the Warrior Rush is an absolute must. You need to get that AD power spike for the burst damage so you can start spam ganking people and easily bring any mid laner or AD carry to half health in one combo. And also, since power farming is not very important, Tiamat is not essential anymore like it used to be for the clear speed. This is the standard item core that most people build for like press the attack. Well, they would rush Tiamat before Warrior, but in this case, get the Warrior for the AD power spike. Then you can pick up a Tiamat. The Tiamat is not only for clear speed, it's also for burst damage. Then the Trinity Force will just give you a lot of damage. I mean, some burst damage, but some DPS. So the slightly tankier champions that you can't burst down in one combo, you can still do damage with DPS and bring them to 50% so you can get your stacks. The Titanic Hydra upgrade is really good for the auto attack reset to greatly increase your burst damage. Basically what you do is run up to somebody with Bear Stance, instantly activate Tiger and Titanic Hydra at the same time right after you hit somebody with Bear Stance. So that'll reset your auto attack timer and you can get your damage out as fast as possible. That way you can attack twice in like half a second, even if you had no attack speed items. Also, another good reason Titanic Hydra is good is because Dark Harvest is actually procced by any damage, not just basic attacks. So if you can't reach somebody with your basic attack, you might be able to get them with the area of effect with Titanic. And if you're hitting multiple people with Titanic, then if any of them die, then you get a Dark Harvest reset. So that's the first basic item core. Now the second one, a little bit more burst damage. So this one is if the enemy team is like really squishy, instead of Trinity Force, maybe pick up a Death Stance. So Death Stance gives 80 attack damage. That's why it's a little bit more burst damage than Trinity Force. And also Death Stance has the healing passive, which works on the Dark Harvest proc. And Sterex is optional if you want more damage. This is going to give you 76 attack damage at level 18. And of course, this will protect you from burst damage with that passive and that 450 health. Now, another option is if you want to focus on counter jungling and stealing camps, you can pick up a Poacher's Dirk and just live in the enemy jungle and easily stack this up to get a free serrated Dirk. And while you're stacking this up, you can maybe finish a Black Cleaver. Black Cleaver is actually pretty good on the new Dark Harvest when it was pretty useless on the old Dark Harvest because you couldn't stack it up in time because your Dark Harvest would instantly proc on your first auto attack. But now you have time to fully stack your Black Cleaver before Dark Harvest procs, so the armor will be shredded and Dark Harvest will do more damage. And lethality from Duskblade synergizes well with the armor shred from Black Cleaver. Duskblade also has the extra burst damage passive up front to help you bring the person to 50% health. And then, as always, for the last items, pick defense. And these builds have some CDR already, so you don't really need a lot of CDR at the end, like Frozen Heart. Alright, let's look at some gameplay, and this is on the PBE, but it should be released in 2 weeks. But like I said, every game always gank bot lane level 2. I always type in chat, level 2 bot lane gank. And you don't need to actually get a kill. Right here, I didn't get a kill on this guy, but I got my first stack, and that's all that matters, because as long as you get one stack every couple minutes, that's a good pace. Right after ganking bot, you can go up to kill that scuttle. And it's really nice being able to camp in bushes for a while now, more than like 10 seconds like before, so you can burst people by surprise. So here I'm just pushing this guy out of his jungle because he can't 1v1 me with Dark Harvest, and since I already got a lead, there's nothing he can really do. He's a squishy jungler. So I see him walk in this direction, so I'm just waiting around the corner. Get a Tiger proc ready, hit him once. So teammate comes over, she lands the hard CC, so I follow up, and we get that Dark Harvest to proc for that execute damage. So we're at 4 stacks at 9 minutes, so you can see on a good game, I'm still only like at 5 stacks at a 10-minute pace. just stealing some more farm. So enemy jungler shows up, but it's already just too late to come back from one bear stance. Tiger. Now I'm just diving these guys with bot lane. Now here's an example of using smite to proc Dark Harvest. So I smite the guy with like 200 health. Boom, he's instantly dead. Get the Dark Harvest reset. Get the other one too. Slow motion of that. So here, trying to dive this guy in top lane. Another example of me not getting a kill, but still getting the stack, which is well worth my time. Then we come back a few seconds later, finish him off. Trying to one-shot this Ezreal. So start with Bear Stance. Tiger, Tiamat, and Smite. And Dark Harvest proc, and he's gone. Stealing the guy's buffs. There's the enemy jungler right there. That's my cue to flash stun. Tiger stance, Tiamat, bye-bye. And that's about the end of that game. So you can see from my build, I went Warrior, then Tiamat, then Trinity, and then Titanic Hydra. Now this game, again, going straight to bot lane, overall was not so great. I made so many mistakes, but I was just trying to get a stack on this Leona. That Aftershock saved her from hitting 50%, so I would walk away with no stack. So I just go back up to Scuttle, then try mid lane, still only level 2. And get my first stack right there. Flash for the kill. Take the other Scuttle and invade the jungle. Pull the blue into the bush. So there's the enemy jungle just warding over the wall. And here comes the mid laner too. So I made a mistake by getting too close to the wall so Yasuo could jump over. And I'm trying to see if I can step back in to get another kill. A little bit greedy, but here trying to bait the Master Yi to come back in. And here I run in to try to stun the Yasuo to get my Aurelia out alive. I could have actually survived also if I would have sidestepped that tornado because Yasuo had his cooldown on his dash on me. But I did pick up a stack, pick up red buff, run back to mid lane, try to get this Yasuo again. I stun the minion, so he lives. We got our third stack though. I noticed the mid laner getting ganked, so I run back in here. So when I kill Master Yi, I didn't get a stack from that because it was on a 45-second cooldown, but it did reset the cooldown, so when I attacked the Yasuo, I was able to get my fourth stack. Take a Scuttle, run down to bot lane. Just misclicked my movement there, but we still get another stack from the Tiger Burn. You can see in slow motion that the Tiger Burn actually proc Dark Harvest. So we got 5. Here I didn't notice that the Master Yi was attacking me while I was running to mid lane. So I run away from that. Go back to base. Here he is trying to steal my Raptors, but he's pretty squishy, so I just can probably kill him now. Just go for it, try to move between attacking so I can stay in range. And now it's starting to look not so great for the Master Yi because he's going to get bursted now pretty soon. It's going to only take one combo. So we take his blue buff again, see him ward the wolves, and he uses Q now. Bear Stance, Tiger. I definitely could have finished that guy if I would have just attacked him one more time, but the heal saves his life. He comes back though, brings his mid laner with him, thinking they could 2v1 me, but take a lot of Yasuo's health. He gets a little bit scared, runs away, gives me time to get close to Master Yi, finish him off, get the reset on Dark Harvest, so I'm able to burst down the Yasuo, and we got them both. And that's gonna be a rage quit. I really like not having to worry about the jungle farm and being able to take dragons and Rift Herald without wasting so much time for getting stacks. Run to bot lane, get another stack. We're at 9 stacks at 11 minutes. Run back to mid lane. Get another stack. And take another dragon. That Illaoi is tanky though, so I'm not going to be able to fight that Illaoi with Dark Harvest. Because tanks still counter Dark Harvest. But look at this, ADC walks this way, so I'm able to surprise her. One combo is all it takes. But anyways guys, that's going to be about the end of this video. I am uploading a Call of Duty Blackout video today, so if you want to check that out, I'm going to link it right here. I will be making more League of Legends videos, and in the coming season, I'm going to be trying hard in ranked to see how high I can get. So thanks for watching guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time.